Hello everyone, welcome to another video. I just wanted to compile a list of great books to feed your mind and your soul, guys. As always, remember you can learn way more from the internet than anyone can ever teach you. So why don't you go ahead and read some great books and educate yourself. Now, here's the list in no particular order. Now, I love this list because everyone comes with a great question. Just a reminder, guys, this is a recommendation from me. There are other great books out there. You just have to discover them for yourself. But right now, I think this is a really great list for you to get started with. And so some of these, you may even want to buy them and keep them in your library. So I am going to go ahead and get started with one of my favorite writers of all time, guys, Ayn Rand. Okay. Now, this lady wrote these books way back in the early 20th century. And so some of it still rings true today. So any book that can transcend time to me, that's a phenomenal book. Okay, I know I said I wasn't going to do this in an order, but she's top for me when it comes to great writers. So the question is, what would it take to make you compromise your integrity? Next, we've got The Blue Notebook. Now, this is a very easy read. A very slim book, less than 200 pages. You can go through it in a day. But guys, this book left a mark on me, okay? And when you find a great book like that, where it has such an impression on you, it is worth mentioning on a list like this. So the big question is, what do you do when the people you trust the most betray you? Now, this one right here, I've been thinking a lot about lately since the pandemic. I read this one quite a few years ago, A Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. And guys, let me tell you, I've been thinking about it so much. I know I have a copy of it in the house somewhere. I can't find it. So I'm actually going to be ordering this one on Amazon so I can read it again. It is a phenomenal book that talks about this alternate life, alternate reality, okay? Which it seems like we're living in right now, where everybody's under quarantine. This pandemic came from nowhere and just hit us to the point where we had to stop so much of what we're doing so we can deal with it. So the question is, what would you do if you lived in a world where all your desires were fulfilled? Now, this one right here, I'm all about family, and this book is about family, guys. It spans 100 years, ergo 100 years of solitude. And the author who wrote it, Gabriel Garcia Marquez, he wrote it in Spanish, but this book was translated to many languages. Cien años de soledad. I love it, okay? So the question is, how far would you go to keep your family together? Now, this one right here, the main reason why I recommend it is because there's a character in there. I will not reveal her name. That's a hint. It's a her, okay? So I love this book, and this is one of the classics that they recommend you read when going through high school and everything. John Steinbeck is a classic writer, okay? East of Eden is the book. And the question is, what would you do if you realized after you made a choice that it was the wrong one? Now, this one, guys, I just finished reading it. It was written back in 2016. And, you know, I talk about Nike all the time, especially the stock. I love Nike. And then when you read the story behind Nike, okay, it makes you love the company even more, people, okay? So the big question is, how far would you go to fulfill your dreams? Now, this one right here, again, very slim book. And there's a list. They take the list, guys, of the 48 laws of powers, and just compile them for you. They give you a nice summary, a nice synopsis on the internet. So of course you might want to go ahead and head on over to Google Academy and Google the 48 Laws of Power, and they'll all come up to you for you. The many of our actors and actresses, they live by this, okay? So this is a great little book to read, and definitely I would keep a copy of it. Now, the question is, how do you keep yourself sane in this insane world? Next, The Awakening. Now, you guys are not going to believe this. Okay, so this was one of my high school assignments, okay? And the book left an indelible mark on me. And for some reason, years later, I felt like I needed to read it. So I read it 3 times after high school, guys. And every time I read this book, I get something new out of it. Like right now I'm talking to you, I feel like I need to go and get the copy of this book again and read it for the 4th, 5th time, okay? So the question is, what would you do if you woke up and you didn't recognize yourself? What would you do? All right, guys. So some of you are familiar with these. The 4 agreements. I actually have this posted on my walls in the classroom, which I always reference. What are the best tenets to live by? And there's 4 of them, okay? Don't take things personally. Be impeccable with your words. Always do your best. And now I can't even remember the 4th one. But guys, listen, I love it so much. I love this little book so much. It made such an impression on my life that I actually post this in the classroom. And these are the rules that I live by in my personal life as well as in the classroom. Next, we have Ayn Rand. Again, I know, again. I told you guys, she's like my favorite writer of all times, okay? I cannot think of somebody else I would give that title to, okay? Ayn Rand is it for me. Now, there's a little background story to this one. This one, I actually listened to it, okay? I did an audiobook version of this one. It was a whopping 53 hours. So I'm driving in the car and listening to this book, guys. It's awesome. So this is another way you can get through your really great books. If you love books but you don't have time to read them, you can do the audio versions. Now, here's a money saving tip for you. You know I'm all about money, guys. Money saving tip. You can download the Overdrive app, which you can connect to your public library. You have to have a library card. If you don't have a library card, you can't do this, okay? Connect it to the public library and you can borrow the audiobooks as well as the books for 14 days for free, guys. And if there's no wait on that book, you can keep renew it until you're done reading or listening to that book. Isn't that awesome? So Atlas Shrugged, guys. I love this one, okay? So the question is, what would you do if you woke up tomorrow and there was no Apple, no Amazon, and no Google? What would you do? And no YouTube while we're at it. Okay, Madame Bovary. Now, Gustave Flaubert, this is a classic, guys. There's lots of movie about it. But you know, the movies never do justice to these books. So I highly recommend you read the book. And the question is, are you willing to pay any price to get the life that you want? And then, I know. But guys, I love this book. I love this series, okay? I loved it, okay? Now, the great thing about this series, okay, Game of Thrones, I read all the books before the show came to HBO. And guys, as always, just like with the previous books, okay, the movies never do the books justice, okay? So for me, I would take the books any day over the series. So here's the question. Would you know if winter was coming? And with that, guys, I just want to remind you, my goal, of course, is to help you be the best person you can be so that you can do more, enjoy more, and live more. So guys, if you've learned something here, please share it with someone else. Even if you didn't, you should still share this with someone else. As always, like and subscribe to this channel so you can continue receiving these YouTube videos. So until next time, you enjoy yourself. Bye.